We're in Death Valley Junction. Back in the 1920s, the North Pacific Borax Company built this as a company town for the borax mining that occurs in this area, or right on the edge of Death Valley. After they had moved out, it became somewhat of a ghost town for many decades, until Marta Becket's arrival in the late 1960s. Her story is very well told with the documentary Amargosa, and there's also a very good YouTube video by the TV program Wild Nevada. If you go to YouTube and search Amargosa Opera House, it tells a lot of the story of how Marta Becket got here and what has happened. This is what brought them here, is this Standard Oil, what was then the Standard Oil station. Ever since seeing that video, that documentary, this has held a fascination for me. I always thought that if I ever get to Death Valley someday, that this would be a place I'd like to visit. What you're looking at there is the hotel. It's still operational. There's 23 rooms. And there's a cafe at the other end, and then there's the Amargosa Opera House, which we're going to try to get into.
She was 81 here on stage on point, which is amazing.
So you were here in time to see her dance?
No, only on videos. Only on videos. She's obviously quite an accomplished artist. She's also a world-class concert pianist. That's her $300,000 grant right there. And then, of course, ballerina, Broadway show actor, performer. When she came here in '67, she couldn't get in here, but she could stick her head in here and just look around. And she said the theater was screaming her name, "Come do something with me." Obviously she did. I think really what she heard was, "Hey, new blank canvas. I need to do something to fill it." So she did. 4 years to do the walls, and then she looked up and said, "Hey, I've got to do something with the ceiling," and she did. It's another 2 summers that she worked on that. And now the rest is history.
This is the building that had the Standard Oil station. As Marta's husband got the tire fixed, she then crossed over to explore what was then pretty much a ghost town. And way down there at the end of the complex, she noticed a theater. And this is where her dream came alive. What is now the Amargosa Opera House. Learned from Rich, the town manager, in his tour that This used to be the train depot over here. So this was used not only for hauling out the borax ore, but the dignitaries, and I guess they had la-di-da people come to stay here at this motel. So they would be over here, and the porters would actually come over and get them, and there's a white glove dining hall next to the hotel in the complex. The commercial side of the property in this cafe is still in operation. I'm not going to remember all these going down the line, but one of these was the bank, and there's a store, and where those four openings are, that was where the post office was located. So commercial property coming down, and then there's the white glove dining area. The dining hall is still open. Interesting tidbit we learned about the hotel here, is that on this side of the hotel, all of the rooms have doorways as their entrance, and as you come down, all the ones going down here to the end do not. The ones that have doors were the dignitaries and VIPs that were coming in by train, hopefully donors and the businessmen. And then these were the quarters for the workers, the mine workers, for the females and males, to keep them segregated. Also learned that down next to the Opera House, which was the theater back then, was a clinic, and the doctor lived there. And if you weren't going to make it, if you had an accident, or if you were going to make it, you would convalesce over here in these rooms. If you were not, you would be taken over to where the doctor had his quarters, and behind his quarters was the morgue. And Marta and her husband, for the first 7 years that they were here, she actually used that table. And when asked why in the world she would use the morgue table, she said, well, it was here, might as well use it, use it for something. Gonna do one last pan before we leave. This has just been a wonderful and delightful experience, and I think all of us agree that we've been enriched from having visited Death Valley Junction in the Amargosa Opera House. So here's my travelogue pitch. If you're ever in Death Valley, stop by Death Valley Junction and enjoy a piece of Americana that you might have overlooked or not even known about before.